Good evening and thank you for joining us. Here's your news. It's just the news. Remember, there's no opinion here, there's no debate, there's no noise. It's old school style and we hope that you still find it useful. We've also included a science and technology tab because a lot of you asked for it. You said you'd like to hear more news about science and technology. We're going to try and build that up in the days to come as well. Let us know if you find that useful and let me know if there's anything else we can do to improve this product for you. Here's your news today on the 1st of March 2021. But to begin with, LPG cylinders have become more expensive. Non-subsidized LPG cylinders were hiked 25 rupees this morning. That brings it to 819 rupees per cylinder in New Delhi. Now remember, the price of cylinders have been hiked repeatedly, at least in the month of February, thrice. 1st of March one more time, so that's 4 times in the last 30 days, and altogether since December that's a total hike of 225 rupees per cylinder. The price of the 19 kilogram commercial cylinder has also gone up right now by 95 rupees. It's now 1614 rupees per cylinder. Well, everybody woke up to this photograph this morning. The Prime Minister has taken his first dose of the vaccine against COVID at AIIMS in New Delhi. Now, he shared this picture on his Twitter handle and said, and I quote, "Remarkable how our doctors and scientists have worked in quick time to strengthen the fight against the global fight against COVID-19, end quote. He also appealed to those eligible to take the vaccine. Now, India has kick-started its second phase of its vaccination drive, which means everyone above the age of 60 and those above the age of 45 with comorbidities can get vaccinated starting today. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has said that you can register and sign up on the COVID 2.0 portal, after which you'll be given an option of various hospitals that are public and private hospitals. You'll have to pay 250 rupees per dose, that's 2 doses in a private hospital, where you can pick the hospital of your choice and also pick the time slot of your choice. There's also been an understanding that hospitals will only perhaps allow one type of vaccination. You won't be given a choice at the hospital, so it does make sense to take a look at what vaccine is available when making the appointment if you have a preference between the 2 vaccines available in India right now. Also, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research Director General Shekhar C. Mande on Sunday has said that India's COVID-19 crisis is far from over. He warned that a third wave, which could be more dangerous and have more dangerous consequences than the previous 2 waves in the country that we've faced right now. He also added that India is nowhere near achieving the herd immunity that it needs, and people shouldn't lower their guard. And speaking of the vaccinations in Bihar, the Bihar government is keeping its election promise. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar on Monday said the COVID vaccination will be absolutely free in the state of Bihar, including at private hospitals. The funds will be facilitated, he said, by the state government. The state will bear the expenses, and in case those who get the jabs at any of the designated private hospitals, it will be free for them as well. Now, this is obviously because, as I told you, the centre has announced the second drive where if you choose to go to a private hospital, you'll have to pay 250 rupees per dose of vaccination. In Goa, the central government has granted clearance for the diversion of 140 hectares of forest land from Goa's Molam National Park and the Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary for the South-Western Railway's double tracking project. Now, remember, this was the project that actually got a lot of opposition from citizens of Goa and from the political opposition and environmentalists, because they argued that it would cause large-scale destruction of the Western Ghats without any real benefit for the residents. In fact, these protests were largely led by young people in Goa, but the central government seems to have gone ahead and granted that clearance anyway. Moving on to Maharashtra. Maharashtra's Foreign Minister Sanjay Rathore has resigned from his position on Sunday after facing allegations that he was linked to the death of a 23-year-old woman in Pune earlier last month. Now, 23-year-old Pooja Sawan, from Maharashtra's Beed district, died on the 8th of February. According to the police, she fell off the building that she resides in. The Pune police said that they will investigate further on whether or not this was a case of suicide. Now, 2 days after the young woman's death, an audio clip surfaced on social media in which two men could be heard talking about her death. The BJP claimed that one of the men in the audio clip is Sanjay Rathore and demanded his resignation. After the demands for his resignation got fairly strong, Rathore has decided to resign. The Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, accepting the resignation, has said that there will be an investigation into the case. But moving on to news from science and technology. ISRO has lined up 14 missions to launch in 2021, including the space agency's first unmanned mission later this year. Its chairman K. Sivan announced on Sunday. ISRO's chief K. Sivan said the missions will include 7 launch vehicle missions, 6 satellites, and ISRO's first unmanned mission. ISRO plans to take up 2 unmanned space missions before the Gaganyaan manned space mission that it hopes to send out with 3 Indians into space in 2022. 4 test pilots have been selected for that mission and are currently undergoing training in Russia. Moving on to business news and the news from the stock market. Remember I told you that there was a massive fall in our stock market on Friday. Well, our market has rebounded somewhat. Today the Sensex gained 750 points, nowhere near what it lost, but it gained 750 points. The Nifty as well. Nifty ended at above 14,750. Except for the PSU banking index, all other sectoral sectors ended in the green. Auto, energy, metal indices rose 2%. The mid cap and small caps on the BSE, the indices added 1.5% each. Moving on to international news, Donald Trump was heard from after a fairly long time. Former US President Donald Trump delivered the keynote address at the Conservative Political Action Conference on Sunday, where he said he won't start a new political party. In his first speech since Joe Biden became president, Trump hinted that he may run for office in 2024. He criticized President Biden for his move to re-enter the WHO and his decision to drop sanctions against Iran. Trump teased 2024 by saying, and I quote, "Actually, they just lost the White House. But who knows? Who knows? I may even decide to beat them a 3rd time. Okay," end quote. In Myanmar, in the most violent crackdown since the military coup on the 1st of February, Myanmar's security forces opened fire on protesters across cities, killing 18 people and wounding more than 30. The UN Human Rights Office condemned the escalating violence and urged the military to halt the use of force against protesters immediately. And finally, one piece of positive news. In the Golden Globes that were announced early this morning for India, last night for the US, and this was an online sort of virtual event, very different from what we've seen so far. Chloe Zhao has made history being the first Asian woman to win the Golden Globe as Best Director. This was the first time the Golden Globes in history named 3 women as nominated to the category. Zhao has won for her work on Nomadland. Nomadland also won Best Picture at the Golden Globes in the drama category, and Zhao was also nominated in the Best Screenplay category. That's a wrap on the news from me. Remember, give us your feedback. If there's anything else you'd like to hear about in terms of the news, let us know in the comments section. And of course, a word of encouragement will always help us go further. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good week. We'll be back tomorrow to give you more news. Good night.